Hey YouTube, this is Julia Plous, children's book author and child at heart. Okay, so does anyone remember Mighty Ducks, the animated series? Cause I loved that show, which is really weird cause in retrospect it was pretty stupid. It was just a desperate attempt to recreate Ninja Turtles, which I also loved, but you know, it came on like a year or two after Gargoyles premiered, so they were like part of the lineup, Gargoyles, then Mighty Ducks, and naturally my sister and I had the action figures. This is the first one I ever had, Nosedive. He's been through a lot. He's missing his hand here, but he's got almost all his other accessories. This little flippity doodle to like flip this razor puck, I don't know what that is. These snap-on boots and these propeller feet things, and this gun that, I mean, it was probably supposed to go into his other hand, but he doesn't have his other hand. And all the ducks came with kind of a rubbery pull around their head like helmet headband, but he's missing that. And then this was my sister's, because Duke was her favorite. He's got most of his accessories except the headband. He's got his grappling hook, this is the most puniest duck saber. That's it! But I like that they were consistent with the cartoon design, that it sticks to his arm, because that's where he keeps it. And he's got these snap-on rollerblades. Rollerblading was really big in the 90s. The problem with him is his head. As you can see, he does not have the chip in his beak, so that's inaccurate. And they made his eye is not just an eye patch, it's like an entire cylinder that goes over his head, and that's not what he looks like. But we still have these, or I still have the cards that came with them. They each came with like a character profile card, and the action figure boxes had, you know, those little red lenses like the mask, so you could read these hidden messages down here. And Nosedive's, I still remember what it says. Nosedive learned to skate when he was just a duckling. And then Duke's, I can't really read it without the lens, but I do remember on the back it says, once the most notorious thief on Puck World. When I was little, I couldn't read very well, and I thought it said nutritious, and that became a running joke in my family. My dad was like, well, if he's a duck, he is nutritious. Duck is a very nutritious meat. They came out with the second wave of, like, Extreme Battle Ducks, so I've got, you know, Extreme Battle Duke, or whatever, with all his weirdo accessories, this thing that fires a green puck, this 3-chambered saber. And they actually did include the, let me get his weirdo space mask or whatever this thing is off, because they did a better job on his face. They got the eye patch to be just an eye patch and not a cylinder that wraps around his head, and they included the chip in his beak. So yay for consistency. I also have, this is so stupid, the Extreme Battle Nosedive. It's just like the other action figure. His wrist fell off. So these were crappily made toys in the Nosedive wrist department. I do like that they, you know, included the ability you could, you know, latch his puck gun to his thigh, just like in the cartoon. And they included the little rip in his pants, just like in the cartoon. I really appreciate that. I got, you know, Net Attack Wildwing. His shoulder pads don't stick on anymore because these are so old. Yeah, Net Attack Wildwing. I deliberately chose to get this Wildwing instead of the original, because on the original he's perpetually wearing the mask. You can't take it off. And I never liked how he looked with the mask. I prefer his more friendly face, so I deliberately got the one where you can actually see his face. I've got only one of these. They came out with the, you know, the hockey playing team. Each character came with like a plastic cutout of an opposing player, but I never actually played hockey. But it did make sense that they actually made this. So this was, I think, Slapshot Duke. You twist him back and you press the button and he loses his hockey stick. Now, as toy companies will do, they deliberately did not make Tanya because, oh, boys don't want to play with girl characters. They made Mallory, but they purposely made very few Mallorys. They deliberately made her very rare. I think I read that, like, every time a store got shipped a box of, say, 100 of these characters, only one Mallory was shipped to the store. So she was very rare. And they, although Mallory, from the pictures I've seen of her, was probably the best looking one of all of these, the Extreme Battle Mallory was just the same Mallory but with different colors. My sister and I found that at Meijer, which is a it's like a Walmart store in Michigan, if you're not familiar. And we grabbed it and loved it. And when I was 12, my dog chewed it up. That same dog I mention every couple of videos, that he chewed up like everything. I was so mad at him because I was like, Mutsky, of all the action figures you could have chewed up, why the rarest one of all? Why? But I could not bring myself to throw it away, of course. I mummified her in toilet paper and Kleenex, and this was her coffin. And I wrote a eulogy. Now, since writing this, you know, I've unwrapped her, and I've here she is. I'm going to show you. This is Mallory after my dog got through with her. Why did he have to do that? And here's her one snap-on boot. Oh, Mutsky, I will never forgive you for that. Here's the eulogy I wrote. It was written in cursive because I was being fancy. Dear action figure lover, I mummified this toy, Mallory the Mighty Duck, simply because my class is studying Egypt. My dog, Mutsky, completely chewed it up, and I have placed the mummified duck in this old craft kit box. I never found what I call her spinny thingy, that was the weapon she came with, that came with the action figure. I really miss her. Sincerely, Julia Plous, March 24th, 2001. And this is from an era when I kept misspelling my own last name. I put an E at the end of it. There is no E on the last name Plous, but for like 2 or 3 years in grade school, I was having this repetitive brain fart. And I'd like, you know, bring home my papers from school, and my mom would be like, Julia, don't you know how to spell your own name? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I've got, let's see, I got duck cycles, the original, you know, you roll them forth and the pucks fire out the front, and then they had made like another version. It's like extreme duck cycle, I don't know. Then there's this weird hovercraft that was featured in the episode The Return of Dr. Droid. It's kind of weird looking. There used to be, there's a little cannon in here, but for some reason the puck missile, like it wouldn't stay in, like the spring is busted. And it came with these feet, but these feet do not snap in and stay. You snap it in and see, it doesn't even freaking work. So I don't know why it even comes with feet. Here is the Wing, which is pretty boss. I mean, it's small, can only fit 1 or 2 action figures in it, but I was happy to have it. And, okay, I think that does it for action figures. I did, in, I don't know, 4th grade or the summer going into 4th grade, I had the little Migrator playset, Collectible Figures. It's got their headquarters. I don't know what this is supposed to be. You just stand there and fire whatever out. Came with all the characters. Let's see, here's Duke and Tanya, Nosedive, and Mallory, and here's Grin. It's missing Wildwing, but I did have it. And then here's Dragonis and Chameleon. So that's it for collectible figures. I do remember being, must have been 5th or 6th grade, like I found this sticker album and all these stickers in the store, and I grabbed it. I was like, Dad, you have to buy me this. There's very little Mighty Ducks merchandise out there, and please, you have to get me this. And he did. I made, like, I would take the stickers out, rearrange them and stuff, because that's how sticker albums work. You're able to repeal them. A couple years ago, the voice actor, Jennifer Hale, made an appearance at C2E2, and I was like, oh, she's the voice of Mallory, I have to meet her! So I took stickers out of that sticker album and put them on a piece of paper, and I went to meet her, and she was very nice, and she signed it, Julia, Ducks Rock. She signed it, her name and Mallory. I was probably the only person there who remembered that she was a Mighty Duck. Everyone else brought their video games for her to sign, but I don't play those games. But, you know, I had this, you know, I've torn this page out, but it was in a little booklet, and her assistant that I had to pay the $25 to was like, oh my gosh, I had those stickers! Oh, this is such a blast from the past! And I was like, yay! Jennifer Hale was really sweet, and, like, I was kind of intimidated because the headshot used to promote her appearance at the con, she looked so fierce. She had, like her eyebrows were narrowed, and she has these icy blue eyes. But when I actually got to talk to her, she was so sweet and nice and very thankful for the compliments I gave her, and it was just the best day ever. So, That's all my Mighty Ducks stuff. Okay, Disney, reboot that show.